So welcome to the last video out of my Luthier Workshop. And that's a big announcement, I know, but it's the truth. I'm gonna close my Luthier Workshop. It's like I've been working here for 14 years in this tiny little room. It's about 8.3 square meters. It's really not huge. And I don't have a heater here. If you see me sitting here with a red nose and red ears, it's not because I'm drunk, it's because it's freezing cold. In the summer it was horribly hot because it's in the attic, underneath the roof. And after all these years, everything you see on my videos on YouTube, on Instagram, was made in this tiny little room. Every repair, every restoration, everything. I've built the Frankfurt historic guitar in this tiny little room. I've developed and built my own guitar and bass model called Truck in this tiny little room. And I have tried for about 2 days making this video, but I always get like very emotional because this room means a lot to me. But it was always, and it still is, a magical place where I can live my creativity, where I can plan my projects, where I can be a free craftsman. And that's like the biggest point in my life, freedom. But don't worry, it's not the end. There's something great coming up soon. So stay tuned, I will talk about that in another video. I have promised you a workshop video. And before I will remove all the tools and all the installations in this tiny little loved magical room for me, I will give you my workshop tour. So enjoy the workshop tour. Stay tuned for what's coming up next in my life and for the last time out of this magical little room. Enjoy your life, make music, and see you the next time. Thanks for your support. I thought it might also be interesting to enrich my workshop tour with some background informations about my luthier apprenticeship. In 1994, while I was studying musicology, I get the opportunity to start an apprenticeship as a luthier. And this was life-changing for me. And I bought these boots with my first 2 salaries. But now back to my workshop. To get there, I just have to take a few steps up. And here we are. This is a corridor. I use it mostly for storage and for work that creates a lot of dust and dirt. I try to keep this out of my workshop. 8.3 square meters. That's the size of my tiny luthier workshop. Welcome. If you're working in such a small environment, the most important thing is to keep stuff and things organized. I have these military boxes. They are very useful and I use them for storing stuff and materials that I don't use and need every day. And this is my working place. My workbench has a special story. I will come to this later. And this is my wall of tools. Well, quite a lot of stuff and materials that I've collected over 30 years being a luthier. And I need everything that's hanging there. Actually not every day, but someday. Here is my beloved soldering iron, which is probably as old as I am. Here are my sanding blocks, wood blocks, everything you need actually every day, like cutters. By the way, let me show you my favorite tool that I use nearly every day. And this is my carving knife. I've built it myself starting the apprenticeship in 1994 and I use it every day. Even if it looks a little bit chaotic, for me it isn't. I can grab every tool in a few seconds, even with closed eyes. A lot of these tools are from colleagues or luthiers that passed away. And this is my vise that I also use nearly every day. And a lot of people who are watching my workshop repair videos on YouTube ask me about this black box. And this is a self-made power station. I'm one of these nature outdoor off-road guys, and when I'm traveling I need this box to supply my electricity. And here is my workbench story. I bought this workbench used from a guy nearly 10 years ago. He wants to convert it in the bathroom table. So I was happy to buy it from him. And before I get this workbench, I used to work about 20 years on this plank of wood. I glued this plank together from pieces of oven coal, which otherwise will end in the oven as firewood in the factory I used to work back in the days. I still use it for rough work and as a routing table. If you are a luthier or a woodworker, you have to deal with a lot of dust, and therefore I recommend having a good air filter. And if you are wondering, what do I need this piece of polystyrene for? It's pretty simple. This is my light filter. I put this on my window so I don't get the direct sun when I'm filming my YouTube videos. And then there are these very colorful little boxes. They are so useful. I have electronic stuff stored in there, everything. And there you can see my mic and my headphone. I'm actually doing this voiceover with this setup. And here is a small collection of my hand saws. I love cutting wood and metal by hand. Here is my neck holder. I have integrated this in the pitched roof of my attic. And these are necks in different work stages of upcoming projects and builds. And now let's have a look on the other side of my workshop. And these are special handmade clamps, and they are very useful if you're repairing violins or jazz guitars. A lot of other electronical components and hardware stuff. And this is a nice story. And this is the head of my headless conversion video. If you haven't seen that video, feel free to check out the link in the right corner. And this is a Firebird I have built, I think, in 2004. It's hanging there for years because I don't have a case for it. And this is me 20 years ago with a solo project. I was a very active musician, playing a lot of live, enjoying it, and actually I would say without being a musician before, I would never become a luthier. And this is my bandsaw, and I have to say I don't really use it very often. And due to the lack of space, I've constructed this, I will call it turnable construction. And to be honest, I always prefer cutting by hand, sanding by hand. I don't know why, maybe because of my traditional education. And this is a very special guitar. I've made a 5 parts repair video. If you're interested in that, feel free to check out the link in the right corner. Behind this little door, there's my wood storage. And this is actually my workshop amp. It's nothing fancy. I find it on a trash, repair it, and I use it in my workshop for testing guitars and basses. And here are the bodies belonging to the necks that are hanging on my ceiling that you've seen before. And this is quite special one. This is the 3rd limited edition Frankfurt Historic Guitar replica guitar. I have to finish this up. If you're interested in the story of the Frankfurt Historic guitar, feel free to follow the link that I will share in the right corner. Here are some acoustic stuff going on, and this is a mandolin that my grandpa starts to build. I have to finish this up. And by the way, Nicolas Petrek, my grandfather. Yes, we share the same name. He was the inspiration, and he was the guy who's showing me the beauty of craftsmanship. Thank you for that. And he also built this piece of furniture that I always have in every workshop, and he's always with me. Without being a musician before, I would probably never become a luthier. I would like to play a song that a lot of people know who are watching my YouTube videos. Stay tuned till the end. when you close one door, another one opens. Hope to see you there.